Okay, settling close. This one starts with the hum of a faulty refrigerator and ends, well, you see. The first time I saw Leo, he was painting a mural on the side of Mrs. Henderson's bakery. It was a glorious explosion of color. Sunflowers taller than me, plump peaches bursting with juice, a sky that tasted of cotton candy. He moved with an almost frenetic energy, his brush dancing across the brick, each stroke vibrant and alive. I was mesmerized. Mrs. Henderson, a woman whose smile lines could launch 1,000 ships, watched him with a similar kind of awe. Later, she introduced us. Leo had just arrived in Havenwood, a sleepy town where the most exciting thing that usually happened was the annual pie eating contest. He was running from something, that much was obvious. He had that haunted look in his eyes, the kind that comes from witnessing things you can't unsee. He was also breathtakingly talented. I, on the other hand, was ordinary. A librarian, surrounded by stories but never living one myself. I'd grown up in Havenwood, known everyone since kindergarten, and my life was as predictable as the library's Dewey Decimal System. Leo and I became fast friends. We'd spend hours talking in the library after closing, surrounded by the comforting scent of old paper. He'd tell me snippets of his life, carefully avoiding the dark corners. I learned he'd been a street artist in the city, that he'd seen beauty and brutality coexisting in the same alleyway. He taught me how to truly see the world, to notice the subtle shifts in light, the intricate patterns in a leaf, the story etched in the face of a stranger. And then I fell in love, hopelessly, completely, irrevocably in love. He didn't seem to notice. He was too busy painting Havenwood, beautiful, transforming drab walls into vibrant canvases. He painted the post office with images of migrating birds, the hardware store with scenes of local farmers harvesting their crops. He even convinced Mr. Abernathy, the notoriously grumpy owner of the antique shop, to let him paint a whimsical portrait of his pug, Winston, on the side of his building. Everyone loved Leo, except for one person, Dale Harding. Dale was Havenwood's golden boy, star quarterback in high school, now running his father's successful construction business. He was handsome, wealthy, and entitled. He also had a possessive streak a mile wide when it came to anyone threatening his carefully constructed image of being the most important person in Havenwood. And Leo, with his vibrant art and his easy charm, was definitely a threat. Dale started small, whispering rumors about Leo's mysterious past, questioning his motives, making snide remarks about his fancy city art. At first, it was just background noise, but then it escalated. One morning, I arrived at the library to find the mural Leo had painted on the side of the building, a towering oak tree representing the strength and resilience of Havenwood, defaced. Splashes of black paint obscured the intricate details, turning the beautiful image into a mockery. Leo was devastated. He stood there, staring at the vandalism, his shoulders slumped. The haunted look in his eyes was back, darker than ever. It's just paint, Leo, I said, trying to reassure him. We can fix it. But he just shook his head. It's not just paint, Ilara. It's... He trailed off, unable to articulate the deeper wound. That's when things truly started to unravel. Dale's harassment intensified. He'd follow Leo around town, making sure everyone saw him glaring. He'd make pointed comments about outsiders coming in and changing things. He even started a petition to have Leo's murals removed, claiming they were unsightly and didn't reflect the values of Havenwood. The pressure was getting to Leo. He stopped painting, he avoided the library, he became withdrawn and silent. I tried to talk to him to convince him to fight back, but he just kept saying, "It's not worth it, Ilara. Some people just want to watch the world burn." I knew I had to do something. I couldn't stand by and watch Dale Harding destroy this beautiful, talented man. But what could I, a humble librarian, possibly do against the town's golden boy? Then, one day, Mrs. Henderson came into the library, her face edged with worry. "Ilara," she said, her voice trembling, "Leo is gone." Gone? What did she mean? Gone. She explained that Leo had packed his bags and left a note saying he couldn't stay in Havenwood any longer. He couldn't handle the negativity, the constant harassment. He was going back to the city, back to the shadows he'd tried so hard to escape. That's when something snapped inside me. The quiet, ordinary librarian disappeared, replaced by a woman fueled by righteous anger. I was done being passive. I was done letting Dale Harding bully his way through life. I marched straight to Dale's office at Harding Construction. I didn't bother knocking. I stormed in, catching him off guard. "You did this, Dale," I said, my voice shaking but firm. "You drove him away." He smirked. He couldn't handle the pressure. "Some people just aren't cut out for small town life." "That's not true," he shouted. "He was making Habonu better. He was bringing joy and beauty into our lives. And you, with your petty jealousy and your need to control everything, you destroyed it all." He stood up, towering over me. "Watch your mouth, Elara." "No," I said, standing my ground. "You watch yours. Everyone in this town knows what you did. They may be afraid to say it, but they know. You bullied him, you harassed him, you drove him out, and you know what? You are not as powerful as you think you are." I turned and walked out, leaving him speechless. I knew I couldn't bring Leo back, but I could expose Dale for who he was. I went to the local newspaper, the Havenwood Herald, and told them everything. But Jita, a woman named Martha, had always seemed intimidated by Dale, but she was also a journalist at heart. She listened to my story, her eyes widening with each detail. The next day, the Havenwood Herald ran a front page story with a headline, "Local artists driven out by bullying." The article detailed Dale's harassment of Leo, quoting my account and including statements from several other residents who had witnessed his behavior. The town erupted. People were outraged. They started taking down the anti-Leo petitions. They organized a community cleanup to restore the defaced mural on the library. They even started a fundraising campaign to commission a new mural in honor of Leo. And Dale Harding was ostracized. His business suffered. His reputation was in tatters. He tried to deny the allegations, but the evidence was overwhelming. He had underestimated the power of a small town united against injustice. But the best part was what happened next. A few weeks later, I received a package in the mail. Inside was a small, beautifully painted canvas. It was a picture of the Havenwood Library bathed in the warm glow of the setting sun. And in the corner, a tiny signature. Beside attached was a note. "Elara, thank you. You showed me that even in the darkest of places, there is always light. I'm not coming back to Havenwood, not yet, but I'm painting again. And I'm remembering the beauty. Tell Mrs. Henderson I said hello, and thank you for everything." Leo, tears streamed down my face as I held the painting close. He was okay. He was painting again. He hadn't let Dale Harding extinguish his life. And that's when I realized that maybe, just maybe, I had a story to tell after all. A story about courage, about standing up for what's right, about the power of art to heal and inspire. A story about how even the most ordinary person can make a difference. The murals Leo painted are still there in Havenwood, vibrant and alive, a constant reminder of the beauty he brought to our town and the ugliness we overcame. And every time I look at them, I remember Leo and I smile. Because even though he's gone, his art and his spirit live on. And that in the end is a beautiful thing. Haven who've learned their lesson and understood the value of people like Leo who spread happiness around them with their art. The town welcomed many artists with open arms and celebrated the art in various forms.